The Rio may not be a rock star car, and it may not be part of most people's fantasy garage, but to Kia, it is a very important model. It's one of the cars that help establish them as a major player, and it still contributes to their continued success. So, no pressure for this fourth generation then. Hoping to build on the popularity of the previous model, the new Rio has been almost completely redone. The engines and the gearboxes are the same, but the chassis, the styling and the interior are all new. It's not difficult to see how different it is compared to the old one, but perhaps more importantly, it now has an advantage over the cars it competes against. And that list of cars is quite long. Volkswagen Polo, Ford Fiesta, Honda Jazz, Renault Clio, etc, etc. The front end has been narrowed down, and at the rear, depending on spec level, you get niceties like LED taillights. But parked next to just about anything it competes against, it is a little bit more sophisticated. Kia's design has been something to take note of for a number of years now, and the Rio shows off extra refinement. You might argue that it looks a little bit too grown up for the market it's aiming for, but it is a very nice looking car. Longer and lower than the model it replaces, with LED running lights and 17-inch wheels, it definitely packs more character in its styling than almost all of its competition. But while the styling has moved on, what's underneath it hasn't really. The old model lineup consisted of 1.2-litre and 1.4-litre naturally aspirated petrol motors with a choice of manual or automatic gearboxes. The new model range consists of 1.2 or 1.4-litre naturally aspirated petrol motors with a choice of manual or automatic gearboxes. And we're driving the 1.4, and while it's 74 kilowatts and 135 newton meters feels pretty good, I am wondering why there isn't a turbo. It's not like the company is averse to the technology, and when you compare what the likes of Volkswagen and Ford are able to extract from their small capacity turbo motors, it would seem like a no-brainer in this class. By way of comparison, both the 1.2 Polo and 1-litre Fiesta have smaller engines that produce more power. And it's not just about the power, both those engines burned less fuel. That said, the feeling in here is very relaxed. The steering is light, the gear shift is easy. So I kind of get the impression that the Rio wouldn't really be interested in turbo power anyway. Our top-of-the-range test car is fitted with a 6-speed manual, and there is the option of a 4-speed auto for the 1.4. 1.2-litre models get a 5-speed manual only, and in all cases, drivers to the front wheels. Kia has worked on the new Rio's chassis as well. The springs and dampers have been reworked, and Kia says all of that is in aid of more involvement and more compliance. And generally it is very good. It's comfortable, it's got good grip, but it also has a very definite limit. I'm not talking about the limits you might encounter when driving like an idiot. The Rio is happy and confident up to a point, beyond which a lot of its competition will continue to deliver an involving drive. Trying to push it too quickly through tighter corners will unsettle it, while similar speeds in something like the Ford Fiesta will just feel like fun. So on the move, the Rio may not always be able to keep up with its competition, but its interior certainly can. Again, there is that extra sophistication in the design. The layout is also top class, and the spec in our test car includes a touchscreen infotainment system, climate control, leather, and a pretty good sense of value. The space has been improved as well, and the Rio now has more legroom. Kia also say that its head and shoulder room are near the top of its class. Standard across the range are USB and an aux connection, as well as a multi-function steering wheel and Bluetooth. The touchscreen infotainment system includes Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. There's also more boot space, despite the shortened rear overhang and the full-size spare lurking beneath the boot floor. The Kia Rio has a definite style and a very nicely sorted interior, and even though it's not the most fun you can have in this class, it offers a comfortable, enjoyable drive, as long as you don't push it too hard. And even though it's borrowed some mechanical bits from the previous generation, it struck a very good balance between the old and the new. The 1.4-litre naturally aspirated motor has been carried over from the previous generation and delivers progressive power through a very good 6-speed manual gearbox. The new styling and interior are definite highlights, with a mix of sophistication, comfort and technology, making a very good package, even if it isn't the most fun you can have in this class.